you cannot be selling things, you cannot be involved in businesses.
It just brings the question back to me that who made these rules? Who made the rules that women cannot be managers?
Can you picture a Nigeria where every woman gets a fair shot at life? Where your gender doesn't decide how far you can go and culture doesn't clip your wings even before you take off? Unfortunately, that's not the case for millions of women. Too many are held back, whether it's being denied education, overlooked at work, or silenced by expectations. It's frustrating, it's unfair, and it needs to change.
Challenges are faced as a female fashionpreneur in terms of accessing or owning a property. During the time I was starting and I was looking out for a place to rent, so landlords will be specific about who they want in their house and what they want in terms of employment. They'll be like, oh, they don't want somebody that is working as a business person. They want a corporate worker.
For generations, cultural norms have shaped the lives of Nigerian women. Many are expected to nurture, serve, and follow rather than lead. These customs extend beyond family, influencing workplaces, politics, and even religious institutions. As a result, women struggle to access the same opportunities as men.
The men are given that power, to participate more in the economic sector. When all the stories we hear about our forefathers, how they contribute to the economy, having many wives because they want to use them as laborers in the field. So women are sidelined, they are put at the background. Women don't have say in our society, and I would say that contributes more to gender inequality, which up till this day is still something that we are still battling to kind of correct. And that's why you see that in most society that you go, especially in Africa, you see that women are in the background. I've heard of many cultures when you go to the Oba's palace, there's no room for women to talk.
The truth is, economy feels it too. In Nigeria today, for every 10 men working, only about 5 women are doing the same. That's half the number. But even that number doesn't tell the full story. In parts of northern Nigeria, many women can't work freely because of cultural restrictions. That means less income for families and slower growth for the country.
In some communities, in some traditions, they do not allow it. It is like an offense to them. It is like a crime. Let's take, for instance, there is an issue that came up in the north. A woman who is the third wife of an Alhaji built a small shop in the house, in the front of the house, and she started selling provisions. It is the people in that community that came against her to tell her that you cannot be selling things, you cannot be involved in businesses. It is an haram, it is against their natural law for a woman to be in a business. That it seems, or it means that the husband cannot take care of her. We need to do better. In the world we are today, everybody wants to work, everybody needs to work so we can cater for ourselves.
Meanwhile, in the south and east, it's a different picture. Women are running markets, building businesses, and keeping the economy moving. It shows one thing clearly. When women are given the chance, they contribute just as much as men, and often even more.
And despite these legal prohibitions, as provided by the laws that we have in Nigeria, in some communities, traditions and norms, they still involve in activities that go against the provisions of the law. One is early child marriage. A child under the Child's Right Act is a child that is 16 and less than 16. And we as women, we've been advocating that early child marriage should be prohibited. But because of the culture and norms of other people, we have to respect that. And the government is working towards that.
Education is still one of the biggest hurdles. Right now, millions of girls, especially in the north, are not in school. And when a girl misses out on education, it's not just about books and classrooms, it's about her future. It limits the kind of job she can get, the money she can earn, and the power she has to make choices for herself. But the story isn't the same everywhere. In some eastern states, girls are actually outnumbering boys in secondary schools. That's proof that when girls are supported and encouraged, they rise. Change is possible. It just needs to be made a priority.
For inequality around accessing education for women, I think is more in the northern area, because I know there was a time I went to Enugu. This inequality is not just about women alone, though, but in the north and the south, it's more of women. In the north, they allow the men to go to school, why the girls will not go to school. Although that is gradually phasing out. They are being aware now, and some of them releases their children to go to school, but it still boils down to the culture. But when you go to the eastern part, it's different. You see that, especially the secondary school, you see that they are dominated by girls. I was wondering when I went to Enugu and I was seeing girls all around going to school. The male are just few, and I was told that they place priority men to the women to access education. But in other society, that is different.
Thankfully, some groups are stepping in to help close the gap. Organizations like UNESCO and a number of NGOs are doing the work, talking to parents about why it's so important to keep their daughters in school, and pushing companies to hire and promote more women.
Like many other industries, you see that women are quite laid back. They're not given the opportunities that they need, especially on the leadership level, right? So this challenge is not unique to the gaming industry. It's the fact that a lot of persons have specific regard for the male gender ahead of the female gender. That's something that needs to change.
And slowly, we are starting to see the impacts. Change is happening, but let's be honest, it's not moving fast enough. There's still so much more to do.
They believe that you are not financially capable to take care of your responsibilities. So that has been a major challenge. They will just look at you in a way that you cannot afford it. So there are times that I've had several disappointments from landlords. The moment they see that she's a female, she's a female entrepreneur, and you tell them, where do you work? You now tell them that you're an entrepreneur. That is what they needed to just disappoint you.
The real challenge is shifting societal attitudes, because even with the best laws and policies, we can't undo deeply rooted beliefs overnight. In many communities, women are still being left out of important decisions, at home, at work, even in places of worship. Their voices are often the last to be heard, if they are heard at all.
I've seen situations of women deserving promotion and they are not given because they are female and they believe that they do not have capacity for that role. It just brings the question back to me that who made these rules? Who made the rules that women cannot be managers?
The growing number of women in politics is proof that change is possible. More female leaders are stepping into the Senate and the House of Representatives, breaking barriers that once seemed impossible. Across industries, women are proving their worth in engineering, medicine, and business. Their success is a reminder that gender should never define ability.
Yeah, it's affecting us somehow economically, because where you say, especially in the northern parts, you see that women cannot go out. They call them matakuli, or understand. But I think because of the awareness now, that is just gradually by bits changing, although that culture still remain.
But here's the thing. Equality isn't just women's issue. It's not just about women speaking up or fighting for their rights. It's also about men understanding that when women thrive, everyone wins. Families do better. Communities grow stronger. The economy gets a boost. We have to let go of the idea that empowering women takes something away from men. It doesn't. In fact, it lifts all of us. Because when we rise together, we rise higher. Women are not meant to struggle in silence. They are meant to contribute, lead, and shape Nigeria's future just as much as men.
When you see women break even in those fields that are dominated by men, they break really even.